Ladies and gentlemen, friends on the path of growth and greatness, today I want to talk about something that silently shapes our lives, our results, and our destiny, our thoughts, and more specifically, how to remove the thoughts that do not serve us, negative thoughts. You see, Napoleon Hill once said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve." But what happens when the mind is filled not with belief but with doubt, not with faith but with fear? That, my friends, is when we must rise and take command. Everything begins in the mind. Every success, every failure, every moment of confidence or fear, it all starts with a single thought. And when it comes to removing negative thoughts from our lives, the very first and most powerful step is awareness. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. If you're not aware of the thoughts that are silently running in the background of your mind, you're letting them control your life without even realizing it. Think about this. How many times have you talked yourself out of something great before even trying? How often have you convinced yourself you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough, without any evidence to back it up? These aren't just harmless thoughts. They're silent saboteurs holding you back from living the life you were meant to live. But the moment you bring them into the light, the moment you become aware of them, their power begins to fade. Awareness is like flipping on a light switch in a dark room. The fear disappears, the confusion clears, and suddenly you can see. You see the thought for what it truly is. Just a thought, not a fact, not a truth, just a passing idea that you've been giving too much attention and energy. Once you're aware, you can start to take your power back. So how do you develop this kind of awareness? It starts with mindfulness. It starts with slowing down. Too often we live on autopilot. We rush from one thing to the next without taking a moment to check in with ourselves. But when you slow down and truly listen to your inner dialogue, you start to notice patterns. You might notice that every time you face a new challenge, your first instinct is to doubt yourself. You might see that you're quick to judge yourself but slow to celebrate your progress. You begin to observe your thoughts instead of blindly accepting them. And here's the key. You must become a witness to your thoughts, not a victim of them. Don't get angry at yourself for thinking negatively. Don't beat yourself up for having doubts or fears. That's not the goal. The goal is to simply notice without judgment. To say to yourself, interesting, I'm thinking this way again. I see it. I'm aware of it. That is power, because what you observe you can change. This is the mindset of a master. This is the mindset of someone who takes full responsibility for their inner world. Because once you're aware, you can choose. You can choose to interrupt the thought. You can choose to replace it. You can choose to let it go. But none of those choices are available to you if you're not aware that the thought is even there. Awareness also allows you to trace the root of the thought. Where did this belief come from? Did someone plant it in you when you were young? Did society teach you to think small or fear failure? When you trace the thought back to its origin, you often find it was never even yours to begin with. And in that moment you gain the freedom to release it. You gain the ability to say, that's not my truth. That's not who I am. Imagine what your life could look like if you became hyper-aware of your mental patterns. Imagine catching a negative thought the moment it shows up before it can take root, before it can multiply. That's not just possible. That's a skill you can develop. And every time you do it, you get stronger. Your mind becomes a place of power instead of a prison of doubt. Awareness is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. It's checking in with yourself regularly. It's pausing when things feel off and asking, what am I thinking right now? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? That single moment of reflection can shift the entire direction of your day. So if you're serious about removing negative thoughts from your life, start here. Start by paying attention. Start by noticing the voice in your head. Start by shining the light of awareness on every limiting belief, every harsh criticism, every fearful whisper. Once you've developed awareness of your negative thoughts, the next crucial step is to challenge them. See, awareness alone is not enough. Recognizing a negative thought is powerful, but transformation begins when you question it. You must stand up to it. You must become the strongest, most loyal advocate for your own potential. You can't just listen to every fear, every doubt, and every limiting belief as if it's telling you the truth, because most of the time it's not. Think about it. How many of your negative thoughts are based on real facts? And how many are just assumptions, old fears, or echoes of someone else's voice planted in your mind long ago? That voice that says you'll never make it, you're not good enough, or this will end in failure. Who said that first? A teacher, a parent, a past mistake, and more importantly, Why do you still believe it? Here's the truth. Thoughts are not facts. They're just thoughts. Temporary, shifting, often irrational, and many of them are based on fear, not reality. Just because a thought feels true doesn't make it true. Just because you've thought it 1,000 times doesn't mean it's accurate. So every time a negative thought shows up, you must challenge it like a lawyer, cross-examining a false witness. Ask it, where's the proof? Ask it, what evidence do I have that this is true? Ask it, have I overcome things like this before? And ask the most powerful question of all, what would I say to a friend who had this thought? You'll often find that you are kinder, wiser, and stronger when you shift perspective. We're so quick to believe our own worst thoughts, but we would never speak that way to someone we care about. So why treat ourselves any less? Challenging negative thoughts isn't about denial. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about getting honest. It's about confronting the lies your fear tells you and replacing them with a more empowered, realistic narrative. If your mind says you always mess things up, challenge it. Think back, is that true every time? Or are there countless examples of times you succeeded, times you handled things, times you grew? That's the truth that deserves your focus. But it doesn't stop there. Once you've challenged the negative thought, you must replace it, and not just with any random phrase but with something real, something rooted in strength and belief. If your old thought says I'm not capable, your new thought could be, I may not know everything yet, but I'm learning fast and getting stronger every day. That's not empty positivity. That's progress. That's truth with power behind it. It takes practice. Your brain might resist at first. Negative thinking can become a habit, and like any habit, it takes repetition and intention to break. But every time you challenge that voice, every time you replace it with a stronger one, you're rewiring your mind. You're literally creating new mental pathways that favor growth over fear, faith over doubt, truth over lies. Eventually it becomes second nature. You'll catch a negative thought in real time, and instead of letting it spiral into self-sabotage, you'll stop it. You'll redirect it. You'll speak life into yourself instead of criticism. That's the power you have. It's not magic. It's mindset. The most successful people in the world are not those who never feel fear or never face doubt. They're simply the ones who refuse to believe every negative thought that enters their mind. They challenge their inner critic. They rewrite the story, and so can you. So the next time you hear that voice of fear, that whisper of doubt, that heavy thought telling you that you're not enough, pause, breathe, and remember who you really are. You are not your fears. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are your potential. You are your strength. You are your truth. Negative thoughts may still show up, but now you have a choice. Challenge them, replace them, rise above them, because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. So make it one worth living. You can have the strongest mind in the world, but if you live in a toxic environment, that negativity will slowly seep in. You cannot plant a seed in poisoned soil and expect it to grow strong and healthy. In the same way, your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset, they are deeply influenced by the people, places, and energies you surround yourself with. So if you want to remove negative thoughts, you have to take control of your environment, fully, deliberately, boldly. Think about it like this. Your mind is like a sponge. Whether you notice it or not, it soaks up everything around you. The conversations, the energy, the attitudes, the news, the noise. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, criticism, or fear, you will start to absorb that energy. It will start to shape your thinking, not because you're weak, but because you're human. This is why controlling your environment is not optional. It's essential. If you're serious about protecting your mindset and living with power and purpose, you need to be just as intentional about your mental environment as you are about your physical one. You wouldn't live in a house full of garbage and broken furniture, so why live in a mental space filled with junk thoughts and broken beliefs? Start with the people. Who do you spend the most time with? Are they dream builders or dream busters? Do they lift you up or pull you down? Do they encourage growth or constantly complain? You don't have to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to protect your energy. Limit the time you spend around negativity. Choose to invest more of your time and heart into relationships that nourish you, challenge you, and believe in you. And that doesn't just mean in person. It also means online. Who are you following? What kind of content are you allowing into your feed, your ears, your mind, every post, every video, every message. It's feeding your subconscious. Is it feeding strength or insecurity? Is it building courage or reinforcing fear? Be ruthless with your inputs. Unfollow anything that doesn't serve your growth. Follow people and pages that inspire, uplift, and expand you. Next, take a look at your physical space, your room, your home, your workspace. Is it cluttered, chaotic, heavy, or is it a space that gives you energy, clarity, and peace? You don't have to spend money to change your environment. You just need intention. Create a space that reflects who you're becoming, not who you've been stuck as. Put up reminders of your goals. Clean up the chaos. Let your space speak to your future, not your past. Even sound matters. Music can shift your entire emotional state. Words, tones, even silence. Everything you allow into your atmosphere has an effect. Choose music that moves you, that motivates you. Listen to podcasts or audiobooks that fill your mind with success, resilience, and positivity. Let your environment become a daily reminder that you are capable, powerful, and evolving. This also includes your routines, the way you start your day, the energy you carry through it, and how you wind down. If your routine begins with grabbing your phone and diving into the chaos of social media or news headlines, you're giving your peace away before the day even begins. Take back control. Start your mornings with purpose. Meditation, gratitude, movement, or simply a few moments of silence. Give your mind the environment it needs to grow strong before the world tries to shape it for you. You must become the architect of your life. Design your days, your space, your circle, and your habits with your growth in mind. Because no matter how motivated you are, if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, your mind will struggle. It's like trying to swim upstream every single day. But when your environment supports you, when it fuels your mindset and nurtures your goals, everything changes. You move faster, you feel lighter, you think clearer. The truth is, greatness doesn't just happen in isolation. It is built, day by day, in the spaces we create and the energies we allow. So if you're ready to remove negative thoughts, don't just look inside your mind. Look around you. Upgrade your circle. Clean your space. Change the channel. Set new boundaries. Because when your environment aligns with your vision, your mindset becomes nearly unstoppable. You deserve to grow in a place that believes in your growth. So build that place. Be that energy. If there is one force powerful enough to quiet fear, dissolve doubt, and neutralize negative thinking, it's gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion. It's a mindset, a practice, and a perspective shift. It's a powerful weapon against negativity because it changes what you choose to focus on. And when you change your focus, you change your life. The mind has a natural tendency to scan for problems. This is a survival mechanism wired deep within us. It helped our ancestors stay alert to danger. But in modern life, it can lead to a cycle of constant overthinking and negative self-talk. Your mind will always find what it's looking for. If you look for what's wrong, you'll find plenty. But if you train yourself to look for what's right, even in the smallest of moments, your world begins to shift. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing that even in the middle of imperfection, there's still beauty, there's still growth, there's still something to be thankful for. And that awareness breaks the grip of negative thinking. When your mind wants to spiral into what you lack, gratitude grounds you in what you have. When you start obsessing over everything going wrong, gratitude gently reminds you of everything going right. Let's be clear. Gratitude is not weakness. It is strength. It's easy to be bitter. It's easy to complain. It takes real inner power to pause, breathe, and say, even though things aren't perfect, I'm still thankful for this moment. I'm still grateful for the lessons. I'm still here. And that means I still have a chance to grow. Start simple. You don't need a dramatic story or a perfect day to feel grateful. Gratitude can live in the smallest things. A cup of coffee, the sun on your face, a friend who checks in, a breath of fresh air, the sound of laughter, or the simple fact that you woke up today with a new chance to try again. These little things, when appreciated fully, become the big things. One of the most powerful habits you can create is a daily gratitude practice. Take 5 minutes each morning or evening to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Don't just write them, feel them. Let that emotion fill your heart. You, you, the more you practice gratitude, the more your brain learns to look for things to appreciate. It literally rewires itself for positivity. And when you face hard days, gratitude becomes your anchor. Even in pain, you can be grateful for the strength you're gaining. Even in loss, you can be thankful for the love you once experienced. Even in the struggle, you can give thanks for the resilience being built inside you. This isn't toxic positivity. It's mature, grounded, real gratitude that allows space for both challenge and grace. Gratitude also softens your perspective of others. It allows you to see beyond their flaws and appreciate their effort, their presence, or their kindness. When you live with gratitude, you show up with more patience, more love, and more empathy. And those qualities not only lift others, they also lift you. And perhaps most importantly, gratitude brings you back to the present. Negative thoughts often pull you into the past or worry you about the future. Gratitude says, be here now. It brings your focus to this moment, the only place where life is truly lived. It reminds you that, even if your destination is still far ahead, this step matters, this breath matters, this moment is enough. Gratitude isn't about denying pain or pretending to be happy all the time. It's about choosing to see the full picture. It's about remembering that even when life feels heavy, there is still light. Even when your mind fills with doubt, you can still choose to believe. And even when things feel broken, you can still find. So if you want, you care. So if you want to clear your mind, if you shit it down by feeding it, it brings on. Focus on what's working. Focus on who you love. Focus on the strength within you and the blessings around you. Not because life is perfect, but because gratitude gives you the power to rise, to heal, and to see clearly. A grateful heart is a resilient heart. A grateful mind is a peaceful mind. And gratitude, practiced daily, is the antidote to negativity. There's a powerful truth that many people overlook. Negative thoughts lose their grip when you take action. Not just any action, purposeful action. Action with direction. Action that moves you closer to who you want to be and what you want to create in your life. You see, negative thinking thrives in stillness and indecision. The longer you sit in fear, the louder it gets. But when you start moving, when you begin to take control of your steps, the noise begins to fade. Negative thoughts often show up like this. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work? And those thoughts don't just paralyze. They convince you that doing nothing is safer. But the truth is, doing nothing is far more dangerous. It keeps you stuck. It reinforces the lie that you're incapable. And worst of all, it robs you of momentum. Momentum is everything. Once you start, even with the tiniest step, you begin to prove to yourself that progress is possible. You don't have to have the full picture. You don't need to be confident right away. You just need to move. Because action builds confidence. Action builds clarity. And purposeful action, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to your mind. I am not a prisoner of my thoughts. I am in control. Let's be real. Fear doesn't go away just because you want it to. Doubt doesn't vanish just because you think positively for 5 minutes. You can journal, meditate, and visualize all you want, but at some point, you have to do the thing. You have to make the call, send the message, apply for the job, create the art, speak the truth. That's where the real transformation happens. Every time you take action, in spite of your fear, you weaken the voice of doubt. You begin to collect evidence that you are capable, and over time, that evidence stacks up. It becomes your new foundation. You begin to believe in yourself, not because someone told you to, but because you showed yourself what you're made of. Purposeful action also gives your thoughts a new job. Instead of letting them wander aimlessly into fear and worst-case scenarios, you give them something to work toward. Your energy gets redirected from worry to work, from anxiety to creation. You stop spiraling in what ifs and start focusing on what's next. This doesn't mean you'll never feel fear again, but it means you won't let fear decide your direction. That's the difference, though, between those who stay stuck and those who rise. It's not that successful people are fearless. They just refuse to let fear keep them still. They move anyway. They act anyway. They keep going, even if their hands are shaking and their voice is unsure. And here's something beautiful. You don't need to take giant leaps. You don't need to change your whole life. Sometimes the most purposeful action is incredibly small. Sending one email, writing one paragraph, making one decision to say no to what drains you, and yes to what inspires you. These small wins build your confidence, like bricks laid one by one. Eventually, they create something solid, something unshakable. Purposeful action also creates discipline. When you commit to showing up, even when it's hard, you build trust with yourself, and when you trust yourself, negative thoughts start to feel less convincing. You don't believe them as easily, because your own actions prove otherwise. You've seen what you're capable. You've experienced your own power, and there's something deeply healing about action. When you're moving forward, you don't have time to sit and marinate in regret or fear. You're too busy growing. You're too focused on the future. Every action you take in alignment with your goals sends a signal. We're not staying stuck. We're building something new. So if you feel trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts, get up, move, do something that matters to you, something that challenges you, something that excites you, or even scares you a little. Don't wait for motivation. It will come after. Wait for confidence. Will grow after you take them. And don't wait for perfect conditions. They rarely exist. The best time to start is now. Because when you act with purpose, when you move with intention, you shift from overthinking to ownership. You stop being a victim of you and become the creator of your life. And that's when everything begins to change. Your thoughts are powerful. They can build you, or break you, inspire you, or exhaust you. And the truth is, most people live at the first of. They wake up already stressed, spend their days lost in overthinking, and go to bed with a mind that won't shut up. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could learn to step back, observe your thoughts, and choose which ones deserve your attention? That's the gift of mindfulness. That's the strength you build through meditation. Mindfulness is not about clearing your mind or pretending you don't have problems. It's about becoming aware of what's going on in your mind without getting dragged around by it. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice your thoughts as they come and go. You start to see them like clouds drifting through the sky. Some are heavy, some are light, but none of them are permanent. You realize, I am not my thoughts. I am the observer of my thoughts. That shift is powerful, because once you can observe your thoughts without becoming them, you gain the ability to pause, to breathe, and to choose how you respond. Negative thoughts may still appear. They probably will. But now you're no longer reacting on autopilot. You're no longer letting one anxious thought spiral into 100 more. You have the awareness and the calm to say, that's just a thought. I don't have to believe it. Meditation is one of the most effective tools for developing this skill. It's not just sitting quietly. It's training your mind the way you train your body at the gym. It's mental fitness. And just like any muscle, your attention, your presence, and your clarity get stronger the more you practice. Meditation teaches you to sit with yourself. It teaches you how to return to your breath when your mind wanders, how to calm your nervous system, and how to find stillness in the middle of chaos. Life is full of distractions, challenges, and emotional storms, but mindfulness creates a space between stimulus and response. In that space is your power. Your power to stay grounded. Your power to choose peace. Your power to not get pulled into the drama of every passing moment. One of the biggest sources of negative thinking is over-identification with the past or fear of the future. Your mind replays old mistakes or worries endlessly about what might happen. But when you practice mindfulness, you bring yourself back to this moment. And in this moment, right here, you are okay. You are breathing. You are safe. You have choices. You are alive. That presence is everything. Mindfulness also builds self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up for having negative thoughts, you learn to observe them with kindness. You begin to see them for what they are, habits of the mind, patterns that were learned and can be unlearned. With enough presence, even the most deeply rooted negative thoughts begin to lose their power. You don't need hours of meditation to make a difference. Even 5 minutes a day can change your life. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, let the thoughts come and go without judgment. The goal isn't to get rid of thoughts, it's to become less attached to them, to watch them pass like waves without getting caught in the current. And over time, something amazing happens. You start carrying that calm into the rest of your life. You become less reactive, more patient, more focused, more at peace. When a negative thought shows up, you notice it, but you don't let it own you. You breathe, you come back to the present, you remember your strength. So if you want to remove negative thoughts, don't just fight them, understand them. Don't just resist them, watch them. Learn to be present, learn to sit with yourself, learn to find stillness in a noisy world. In the pursuit of overcoming negative thoughts, one of the most important yet often overlooked steps is acknowledging when you need help. It's crucial to understand that there is no shame in seeking professional. In fact, it is one of the most courageous things you can do for yourself. If your negative thoughts are overwhelming, persistent, or if they are beginning to affect your daily life, your well-being, or your relationships, it might be time to seek the help of a therapist, counselor. We often carry the belief that we should be able to handle everything on our own. Society has conditioned us to think that asking for help is a sign of weakness, or that we should simply get over it and push through. But here's the truth. Reaching out for support is a sign of strength. It's an acknowledgement that you are committed to your own growth and mental health. Just like you wouldn't hesitate to seek medical help for a physical ailment, you should not hesitate to seek emotional or mental health support when you're struggling. Therapists, counselors, and coaches are trained to help individuals navigate the complexities of the mind. They can help you uncover the root causes of your negative thoughts, guide you in reframing your perspective, and provide you with practical tools and strategies to manage your emotion and mental state. They bring a level of expertise and objectivity that can be hard to find when you're too close to your own thoughts and feelings. Often, negative thoughts are not just random. They can be rooted in past trauma, deeply ingrained beliefs, or unresolved issues that need to be addressed in a safe and supportive environment. A therapist can help you explore these deeper layers of your mind, and in doing so, you can begin to heal old wounds that might still be impacting your present thoughts and behaviors. Sometimes, it's not even about the trauma. It could simply be that you've developed certain negative thought patterns over time, habits of thinking that don't serve you, but have become so automatic that you can't see them for what they are. These thought patterns can be changed, but it's difficult to do so on your own without the right guidance. A professional can help you identify these patterns and teach you how to break them so you can begin to create healthier, more empowering ways of thinking, such as mindful practices, relaxation techniques, and cognitive behavioral strategies. These tools can help you regain control over your thoughts, reduce anxiety, and approach challenges with a clearer, calmer mind. It's also important to remember that you are not alone. Many people experience negative thoughts and emotion. Just sort of isolate yourself or suffer in silence. Seeking professional help is the door to support, compassion, and understanding. It's a reminder that asking for help is not a weakness, but rather a testament to your commitment to living a better life. In addition to therapy, there are many other resources available that can support you on your journey. Group therapy, support groups, self-help books, and online resources can also be valuable tools. Sometimes, hearing others share their experiences and struggles can help you feel less alone. It can remind you that you're not the only one facing these challenges, and that recovery is not only possible, but it's often easier with the support of others. Reaching out for professional help is an act of self-love. It is a recognition that you deserve to but free from the chains of negative thinking. It's about taking ownership of your mental health and doing what is necessary to become the best version of yourself. When you choose to work with a profession, you're giving yourself the gift of healing, growth, and empowerment. And with that gift comes a brighter, more fulfilled future.